So thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate it, and we're going to be discussing entrepreneurship through acquisition, or ETA as it's known. And Joe, I found your story fascinating about how your road led to creating this business, SMB. So can you just share a little bit about what the platform is and what you do?
Yeah, so SMB is actually the Zillow for small businesses. We make it easy and simple to buy and sell small businesses, mostly providing support for Main Street owners, which is 80% of all small business owners, because of the size of their business or the lack of size of their business. Nobody really wants to touch or provide enough support for those and those owners, and we think that they deserve support no matter the size of their business.
So we're so excited to have you here today. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to ask you about entrepreneurship through acquisition. This is something that you are well versed in, and at the 1819 Innovation Hub, we're going to have an event coming up. So what was it about entrepreneurship through acquisition that you decided to take this path to acquire Affinity Travel Company rather than going the conventional route, which is just doing it from the ground up?
Yeah, so this is a question I thought a lot about, right? The difference between acquiring something versus starting something of my own. I went to business school, I tried my hand at investing, I thought about a lot of different paths, but what I kept coming back to was small business. Perhaps I should start by looking at businesses that I could acquire rather than trying to start something from scratch. I think it really did, as a younger business person, make a big difference to be able to come into something that was successful already. There's tons of ways that I can make it better, but I wasn't having to do the really hard work.
Could you share your personal story and your challenges about trying to sell, what you found out trying to sell your own company?
Yeah. I originally wanted to start an outfitter's gear sort of store. I decided I wanted to sell. Unfortunately, the process of selling is complicated, and I didn't know where to start as far as who to reach out to, what resources were available. I didn't even know what a broker was at that time, And with your first small business, you think, when I'm ready to sell it, that feels like quitting, and nobody wants to be a quitter, at the end of the day. But really, you're just trying to find the next best steward for your business. And so throughout that process, I realized that there wasn't enough support. At that time, there wasn't even, other platforms to be able to sell my small business on. And even today, 10 years later, those issues are still here, and nobody has really modernized the M&A world, the acquisition world, the process of buying and selling a small business. And unfortunately for small business owners, and specifically Main Street owners that have a business that has less than $1 million in total sale value, no broker really wants to help them to sell. There's a lot of listing sites out there where brokers and other specialists will help you get listed, but there's not any type of proactive sort of buyer outreach. There's no handheld support, hand-holding support for owners at the end of the day to make sure that they are learning throughout the process and not just letting go of the business entirely. And so we built SMB to hopefully fulfill that gap where Main Street owners get enough support, and then we provide our tech actually to larger M&A firms and other brokers that want to be able to use our tech.
With any business, it is your legacy, really. I mean, what do you hope the impact is that Affinity Travel Co. will have on either the profession, the industry, or for people personally?
Twofold. So I would love to grow Affinity Travel Co. to be a brand that has multiple companies underneath it. I'm actively looking to acquire additional travel companies, and for Affinity Travel to be a place and a home for businesses that don't otherwise have an easy exit. I think there are a lot of women in particular who have founded travel companies in the last 3 or 4 decades and run them very successfully, but they're not the sorts of business that traditional private equity is going to want to buy. And oftentimes those businesses die when the person is ready to retire. They don't have a succession plan. And so I would be very sad to see a whole bunch of businesses that don't need to go out of business simply because they can't find somebody to take on their legacy. On the flip side of that, for customers, I strongly believe that travel is the very best way to create connection and empathy amongst people around the world. I come back with a greater empathy and understanding for folks in another place. It is a very good tool for creating better cross-cultural communication and connection. And so my goal with every trip for every traveler is that they visit a new country and a new destination, and that they meet local people, stereotypes are broken down, and then they get to come home and be an emissary for that country about the special people, the incredible culture, the food, and get other people excited to also go out and see the world.
So can you tell me a little bit about what you believe makes the buying or selling of a business confusing?
So small business owners right out of the gate don't get enough support. They're working in the business, generally instead of on it. So they are working in the business day to day. They don't have enough time to really even think about selling. The startup path for thinking about your exit from day one is a great strategy. We try to make sure that they can do that in a simple way. Currently, what's complicated is the listing process. They don't know where to list, how to find buyers. They don't know what resources to look at. They don't know how to value their own business. They have very high expectations, which is totally understandable. And we need to be able to properly help a business owner value their business, get their house in order. So whether that's financial, operations, market, marketing and market position, from a local competition perspective, and then make sure that they have the right network to be able to do a sort of a playbook approach to selling their business rather than listing a business and just hoping some buyer will come along 6 to 12 months from now.
Anything you'd like to add?
I'm really excited for the event in May. I think that it's going to be a phenomenal experience. Learning about it is like the first barrier to being able to achieve it. So I'm really excited that UC and 1819 are putting on the event, and I'm very excited to be a part of it. Whether it's through Cincy ETA, we have a website, or there are other websites like searchfunder.com, etc. If you're a student who is interested in this, but you just want to explore some more, make sure that you're searching the web, reading books. There are great podcasts, various things that you can do to educate yourself both before and after the conference, and start to make those connections. Because I have found that Entrepreneurship Through Acquisition is, the people in this industry are some of the most eager to share their knowledge and be really mentors to folks who are sort of just at the beginning of their careers. So don't let being young or not knowing anything stop you from asking good questions and getting connected with the community.
So I know you're involved in Cincy ETA. Tell me a little bit about it and about the event that's going to be held at 1819 Innovation Hub.
Cincy ETA was started by, quick shout out to Dave Knox for starting Cincy ETA and bringing together a group of committee members, including myself, that are able to help organize, honestly, the community around ETA and the SMB space and just small businesses in general. We make sure that everybody in the city sort of has support. We honestly hope that more communities around the country are able to build small committees and groups like ours to be able to support searchers, support owners, support brokers, partners, anybody else who wants to be a part of this community. And thankfully, UC is putting on a local event for us for an ETA event in Cincinnati. It's going to be a full-day event. There's going to be a ton to learn from very experienced operators, owners, investors, just about everybody across the board, to make sure that the process is sort of open sourced for everybody, so that the knowledge is more available, the connections are more available, and the people are more available. What I love about Cincinnati is that everybody is so personable and excited to help others because they know that's the best way to personal growth. And I think the ETA event coming up in May is actually going to be one of the best events of the year. And thankfully we have Cincy ETA around, so that post the event, we're able to provide even more support for anybody that's involved in the community.